It's Capital Blue Cross BrainBusters. Now, here's your host, Rich Rosen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show. I hope you saw the first game of our 16-team single elimination tournament with Cumberland Valley and Camp Hill. It was exciting up to the very last minute. Today, it's up to Exeter, seeded number 8, and Wilson, seeded number 9. So let's see what happens as we put these two teams to work with today's opening round. 10-point questions and one big brain buster thanks to our friends at Pizza Hut. Pick up your signaling buttons and use them frequently beginning now. It looks like a long, thin dagger with its tip at Cape Horn. What South American country has its capital? Mike?
South Africa?
No, sorry. What South African country has its capital at Santiago, Exeter? Oh. Dylan?
Chile.
Chile is correct for 10 points. X equals -4. What is the absolute value of X? Colin?
4?
4, of course, yes. Before there was J.K. Rowling, there was R.L. Stein, who sold more than 200 million books in this children's horror fiction series. Jen?
Goosebumps?
Goosebumps is the scary name, yes. Frederick Bailey, an escaped slave from Maryland, changed his last name and helped found the abolitionist movement. Mike?
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass was his new name. You are correct for 10 points. In A.D. 218, he marched his army from Spain through the Pyrenees, across the Rhone Valley. Mike?
Hannibal.
Hannibal, and of course into northern Italy. The Carthaginian general was Hannibal. In 1916, in the most lopsided game in college football history, the Cumberland Bulldogs lost 222-0. What Georgia school turned Cumberland into a rambling wreck? Mike?
Georgia Tech.
For Georgia Tech, yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes, 60% of 15 equals 9. What's 15% of 60? Colin?
16?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. Exeter, Andrew?
9.
9, yeah, the same thing. In China, it is considered the noblest of the visual arts because it is descended from the highest art, literature. What is this, Colin?
Calligraphy?
Calligraphy, yes, is the art with the brush and ink. The state song of Kansas is familiar and famous, but, well, not very appropriate. After all, the buffalo haven't roamed there for almost 100 years. What is the state song of Kansas? Mike?
Home on the Range.
Home on the Range is absolutely correct. And now it's time for the Big Brain Buster, brought to you by Pizza Hut. Make it a big night in and order the Big Night In deal from Pizza Hut for 10 points and a gift certificate to Pizza Hut for everybody. On January 24th, 1848, James Marshall found something in the South Fork of the American River near a sawmill owned by John Sutter. What did he find, Colin?
Gold.
Gold is correct for 10 points and the Pizza Hut coupons. Congratulations, Wilson. In the preface to the 1867 edition of this novel, Dickens wrote, "Like many fond parents, I have in my heart of hearts," Mike?
Nicholas Nickleby.
Nope, sorry, I'm going to complete the question for Exeter. I have in my heart of hearts a favorite child, and his name is? Oh, no, Dylan?
Oliver Twist.
Nope, sorry. David Copperfield. He is said to have ridden to the 7th heaven on Al-Barak, a horse with the face of a woman and the wings of an eagle. What religious leader is this? Mike?
Muhammad.
Muhammad, correct. It's set in Packingtown, a slaughterhouse slum in Chicago. What is this Mike?
Slaughterhouse 5.
No, sorry. What? Dylan?
The Jungle.
The Jungle is this 1906 novel by Upton Sinclair. It wasn't until 1982 that computers replaced these for tabulating the Chinese census. What ancient calculators, Colin?
Abacus.
Abacus, yes, had been used until then, of course. The Chrysler Building and Radio City Music Hall were built in this style, popular in the United States. Mike?
Art Deco.
Art Deco, popular in the United States and Europe in the 1920s and 30s. In 1965, she was hanged for her part in the conspiracy. Lincoln's assassination had been planned in whose boarding house? Mike and sorry, it was not in time. It was Mary Surratt was the correct answer. That sound takes us to the end of the round and to our first break. We'll be back with more challenging questions for these fine young people right after this. Thank you, Dylan, and thank you for staying with us. It's what's turning out to be a very exciting game between Exeter and Wilson. But before we continue, let's take a moment to meet some other very important people that make up the school's teams. First over to Exeter. Let's move over to Wilson, and we're going to say hello to Perot Patel. And